Hi, everybody. Austin here. Just want to address some of the issues from my video yesterday. I'll address some of them in a different video, but comments like the one above here. I suppose the first thing I could say about comments like that is it shows how radicalisation formed a very key element of the propaganda war that Sinn Féin and the IRA used during the Troubles. And radicalisation is something that's not talked about often enough in the context of the Troubles. And we see radicalisation becoming more and more prevalent now in terms of right-wing, anti-immigrant radicalisation, with social media and comments becoming very prevalent. But the type of comment above, what the tactic was by Sinn Féin, and particularly the IRA, in two different formats. Sinn Féin, what they would do is, after the event, in relation to the likes of my dad, would try and blacken the person's character in order to justify what they did. And I talk about that in my book and the effects that has had on my family, and the ongoing effects that has, and the ongoing trauma that has on a family, and the completely untrue and scurrilous allegations. It's done in order to demonise the individual and to blacken their character. But in relation to the IRA, and I spoke at great length to a former IRA member who served time for 2 murders, and he told me that he was taken from one end of the country to the other, and that when he was 18 years of age, and that the IRA spent about 3 months demonising a particular individual and building him up to the kill, so to speak. And when it happened, he had no compunction about going and shooting a man in the head as he drank a pint at a bar. And what they had successfully done was radicalised him and created this monster in his own head that he was going to kill and that he was going to murder. And that's how radicalisation works. And that's how the IRA worked. And I'm quite sure that the individual who maybe murdered my dad was put through a similar process where they demonised him. And then after the event, when questions started to be asked, the narrative, like the one we have above, is what Sinn Féin and their supporters try to get out into the public domain, and to try to make that become the accepted truth. So, that's just my take on it. But we need to watch out. We need to learn the lessons from the past. And that's why I will be saying to people that, pay particular attention to radicalisation. You see it in the posts that I post. You see the people who have been radicalised and who are pumping a radical agenda that they may not even realise that they've been radicalised. They might be just, this sort of a comment, it might be just something that individual thinks is true, but they have been radicalised by the people that they associate with. And that's what we need to be careful of, in particular in relation to right-wing, nationalistic, anti-immigration rhetoric. And, they're learning from the provisionals, and they're learning from Sinn Féin supporters. So, look, that's just my take on that. The other issues I will address in another video. Thank you.